All right, very pleased to be joined by Daniel Jeremiah. Yes, he's the Chargers radio analyst, but he's also the lead draft analyst for NFL Network. And it was ESPN a couple of weeks ago, DJ. You did an amazing job. What was it like to do all of this remotely and doing it with ESPN? It was a really cool deal.
Yeah, ended up being something that was really positive. You know, you didn't know how it was all going to come together because we're all in a unique situation that we're all home. And then you add into the fact that we're working with, different producers, different guys on the talent side. But the good news is, we've all known each other. We've all been friends for a long time. So I was happy, with the way it all came out.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to see the GMs and coaches and kids and dogs and families. It's not something you see every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday each year during the draft.
Yeah, no doubt. And Telesco, I don't know. I don't think he has any the interior decorating, but it's nicely done. I'm just going to put it to you that way. Tom, that is a very nice looking spot he's got there. So very nicely done.
Tom has some good background, and he selected number 6 overall, Justin Herbert. Justin's draft evaluation process, you go Senior Bowl, you have a great Senior Bowl, the Combine, and then his pro day, which you were at. What was it about Justin's kind of draft offseason that you think kind of propelled him into the top 6?
Well, I don't know if you could have done it any better, and that's just the stuff we saw on the field in the workouts, and then the Senior Bowl. What actually helped him even more was meeting with teams, and they came away just impressed. Obviously, how smart he was. We knew he was going to be smart, but the passion that he had for the game, and I think he's got kind of a little bit of that reserved persona when you're from the outside, and I think as people got to know him, they realized he's got a little more juice to him than maybe you anticipated. So I think that helped him. And then when you watched him during the season, I thought you saw somebody that was just getting better and better as the year went along. So everything kind of built up to that crescendo to get him to where he ended up in the draft.
And draft night, so I was doing all my prep work on Justin, getting ready for his press conference, everything. I look up, Chargers back on the clock at number 23 overall, and they get Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. This was a guy Coach Lynn really wanted on this football team. And now you have Joey Bosa, Derwin James, and Kenneth Murray is kind of the leaders on each unit of the defense.
Yeah, I like the way you described it because really it's 3 levels, right? You want to have impact, difference-making players at all 3 levels. And the cool thing about it is when you look at some of the things they can do on third down, you're going to have an opportunity where at times you're going to see, Bosa kick inside. And then if you look down the middle of that defense for the Chargers, you could be going Bosa, Murray, Derwin James, at different times, how you can align them in so many different ways. They're all versatile players. But just think about that athleticism to not only pressure the quarterback up the middle, but anything that goes to the sideline at different levels of the defense, having Kenneth Murray, who runs, low 4.5, high 4.4, sprinting sideline to sideline. Derwin James with his 4.4 speed, sprinting sideline to sideline. You can really, really branch out from the middle of the field and cover a lot of grass with that group. So it's going to be exciting to watch. And as good of a player as he is, I'm telling you, Chris, this is not just a Charger thing, talking to their coaches. Everybody I talked to around the league said, best interview process we've ever had with a player. He was off the charts. So that leadership, that personality, you're going to feel Kenneth Murray on that defense.
All right, 4th round, I have to give you credit because you brought up some great points about Joshua Kelly from UCLA. He was the bell cow at UCLA, but at the Senior Bowl, he kind of showcased his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, some pass protection stuff. We talked to him about that, and he said just because you weren't asked to do it doesn't mean you can't do it. What are the Chargers getting in Joshua Kelly, kind of a guy to I don't want to say replace Melvin Gordon, but to really complement Austin Eckler?
Well, I think some of the things we talked about personality-wise with Kenneth Murray, you see the same things when you look at Joshua Kelly. Joshua Kelly's always got a smile on his face. Talked to Chip Kelly about him. He said, look, we're giving him so many carries. We had to give him a break. So that's why we didn't involve him and use him as much in the passing game. But he said, we did it every day in practice. He's actually really good at it. I said, Coach, I was at the Senior Bowl. He was fantastic in the pass game. I know he can do these things. So he's going to get a chance to show off that side of his game. But then he just runs so hard, and he's just so tough. So, I think he's going to be a perfect fit. When you look at the collection of backs now that you have, not only with Austin, but with Justin, and now you throw Josh in there, that's 3 guys you can all get out in the route, can all catch the ball. They're all tough. So there's going to be a nice mix there with the committee, I think, this coming season.
All right, in the 5th round, we know about Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. You get another wide receiver in Joe Reed, someone who can kind of take the top off the defense, can really good in the kick return game and the special teams game. I talked to Bronco Mendenhall right after he was selected, and he said this is a guy that really can do it all for us, kind of a Swiss Army knife type receiver. How do you see him kind of fitting into this offense potentially?
Now, we talk about it on the Move of Six podcast with our buddy Bucky Brooks. We talk about, kind of that wing back, right? That's kind of like that Deebo Samuel role, somebody that you line up, get him fly sweeps, somebody you could put in the backfield even and just get the ball in his hands for what he does after the catch. Obviously, his return ability speaks for itself. So he's just a guy, you just want to get the ball in his hands and then let him go. I know the time, and I think people look at the 40 time and think, take the top off the defense and a vertical stretch receiver. I think he's more of a run after the catch, get the ball in his hands and let him create and make some things happen. So that's a quarterback's best friend. When you can throw a 5-yard pass that ends up going 50, 60 yards, like he gives you some of that ability.
6th round, Alohi Gilman, another member of the Irish going on this defense. Now they have 4 guys from Notre Dame. When you lose guys like Derek Watt and Adrian Phillips from a special team standpoint, I think Alohi can help in that regard. But also, Brian Kelly was talking about he was an inspirational leader in that locker room. Yeah. Just another guy to add to this secondary, DJ.
Yeah, I think, you kind of target that Adrian Phillips role. That's what he's got to, try and go after when he gets a chance to get into camp and compete. That's the spot you're hoping to be where you can have an impact on 3rd and 4th down. And this is somebody that I like better closer to the line of scrimmage. He plays bigger than his size. He's a really good tackler in that regard. So, and he flies around. So to me, that's kind of his perfect role. He's going to find his niche, kind of playing those sub packages and then out there covering kicks. And again, another guy, energy, I'm big on that. And I think they did a nice job throughout this draft class, getting guys that really bring a lot of energy.
And then finally, KJ Hill in the 7th round, a guy that was at the Senior Bowl, the all-time receptions leader at Ohio State. Were you surprised that KJ Hill went in the 7th round?
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought he would have gone, much earlier than that. But we just had so much depth in this class. It renewed the quality players that would kind of slip down the board. And, you talk about, I would say probably the top 3 or 4 in the entire draft class. You're just talking about hands. Like, he's got unbelievable hands, catches everything. You could make a highlight reel of just his one-handed catches at Ohio State. So tremendous value being able to get him where you did. And I think somebody that can, hopefully Keenan Allen can kind of take him under his wing because he's somebody that, man, he's a really good route, phenomenal hands. And that's the standard, right? If you're coming in and you have that skill set that KJ Hill has, man, just follow around Keenan and mirror him and watch him and study him because that's the type of receiver you want to become if you're KJ Hill, somebody that runs pristine routes and catches everything.
Can't wait to see these guys on the grass, man. We're spoiled to have you and the Chargers family breaking down the draft class for us, man. Hopefully you get some rest over the next couple of weeks.
I appreciate you, brother. I would just give you one bit of advice. If I graduated from Northwestern, I'm putting that thing on the top shelf so that I don't get cut off by half your body there. I mean, that's something to be proud of. Don't hide it. I feel like you're trying to scoot over and hide that Northwestern.
I'm just trying to get Sullivan
yes.
A little more camera time.
That is a good looking dog. You are easily the second prettiest face I'm looking at right now. I can tell you that.
DJ, appreciate it, brother.
See you, buddy.